Hey everybody, happy Monday. Here we go. Beginning of a new week and a new week of math stuff. All right, we're still in geometry. We're talking about mathematical drawings. We're going to be talking about shapes and how to identify them. We're connecting with what you guys learned last week with parallel and intersecting and perpendicular lines, and how to identify these in a specific type of shape. Okay. A few things here real quick. You can see up on my screen right here. This is the Google Doc that I need you guys to turn in for your work today. I'm going to be sharing a slideshow with you where I am going to give you time to answer this question, give me your thoughts on this, and then definitions for each one of these shapes: quadrilateral, parallelogram, trapezoid, square, and rectangle. This is extremely simple, so you need to watch the video. I know some of you are watching the videos, some of you are not watching a single one. This is flat out easy. All you need to do is copy what I put up on the video and then turn it in that way. So don't be that kid who turns in a paper that has some lame-o answer because you want to work real quick and make it look like to your parents that you're getting your work done when you're actually not. That's going to save you an awkward conversation when we send out an email saying you're not doing your work. So save everyone the time, please. All right, rant over. All right, here we go. So this is the sheet that you're turning in today. This sheet here, if you can print this, great. If you can't print this, that's fine. Okay. I'm going to be drawing on this sheet here. It would be great if you had a printed copy of this, but again, no stress. So if you can, please print it. If you can't, no big deal. We'll move on with life. Life is good. All right. So here we go. Let's get started on here. All right. We are going to be talking about quadrilaterals. Okay. So I'm going to stop with this first part right here. What do all of these shapes have in common? So this is a chart of, they call it the types and hierarchy of quadrilaterals. All right, so if you think of it, it's kind of like a family tree of quadrilaterals. All of these shapes are quadrilaterals, okay? So I'm going to stop here. You answer this question in your Google Doc. If you need to go back and forth on the tabs and everything, you can do that. But what do you notice? What do all of these shapes have in common? Yes, I know they're drawn in red. That's not what I'm going for. Why do you think all these shapes are here together in this family tree type diagram? Go ahead and write that in there. I'll wait for you. Go ahead and pause it. Okay. So this we're going to be talking about. Our focus on the is going to be on these guys throughout the week. I think. No, we're going to be talking about triangles later on. But today and tomorrow we're going to be talking about them, identifying this. All right. Quadrilaterals right here. Here's the definition. It's a polygon with four edges, four vertices, and four angles. All right, so polygon, this is going to be a word that you're going to hear throughout the week. And basically what that means is just means it has multiple sides to it. So for example, a circle is not a polygon. Things that are squares, rectangles, triangles, those are polygons because they have multiple sides. Okay, four edges, four sides, four vertices, those are like the corners, and then the four angles. So when you think about quad, okay, if you guys know what a quad runner is, you will know that's a vehicle with four wheels. Okay, so quad means four, like this kid on this quad runner, and I'm laughing because I spent way too much time laughing at this picture of this kid just rocking and rolling on this quad. So remember this rad dude who's just way too cool to wear a helmet on his little quad runner. That quad means four. So when you see quadrilateral, automatically means that that shape has four sides to it. All right. So quad means four. There he goes. All right. Awesome. All right. So another thing we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to give a quick reminder here as you are writing this stuff down. If you need to pause me at any point or go back, pause me and go back so you can write this down. So parallelogram, I want you to notice this word parallel right here, okay? This is a four-sided figure, quadrilateral, with opposite sides that are parallel, all right? I'm gonna pause here and let you guys write that down. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways we can look at these shapes. Okay, so as we talk, we're going to be adding more and more details and more aspects that we could be taking a look at it. So just remember from last week, parallel lines are lines that will never touch each other at all. Okay, one of the ways you could look at that is look at the two L's in parallel. Those two L's in parallel are parallel lines. They will never ever touch each other. So for example, I can say right here that line segment AD, is parallel to BC. Look at that. Opposite sides. Look, these are opposites of each other. So A and D and B and C, they're opposite, right? Those are parallel. And AB is parallel to DC. Okay, so we can look at that, right? Here we have these right here. These are parallel to each other, opposite sides, parallelogram, quadrilaterals and parallelograms. So what I want you to think about is these shapes can have more than one name, right? For example, myself, my children call me Dad. My wife calls me Bill or extremely handsome. You guys call me Mr. McFarland, right? So I am one thing with multiple names. These shapes are similar to that, right? So this is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel to each other, and it's a quadrilateral because it has four sides. Okay? All right, so here we go. Trapezoid. A trapezoid is a four-sided shape, four sides, four angles, opposite sides are parallel. So this is some examples of what we'll see with trapezoids. Pause it here, write down that definition. Hold on. All right. So let's take a look at this part here real quick. Knowing that definition, looking at this again, four sides, four angles, opposite sides are parallel. We can take a look at this one here and kind of draw on it, right? They say these are trapezoids, these are not trapezoids, okay? First off, this guy is not a trapezoid because it has no sides at all. It does not belong in the quadrilateral family whatsoever, okay? This is not a trapezoid because it's not a quadrilateral, because it has one, one, two, three sides. That does not belong in this group at all, okay? This one here has one, two, three, four, five sides. That is not a quadrilateral. This guy does have one, two, three, four sides. But why is it not a trapezoid? All right, so let's think about the definition, right? Opposite sides are parallel. Look, this side here and this side here are parallel. Four sides, one, two, three, four. Opposite sides are parallel. Look, this side is parallel with this side. This side is not parallel. It is parallel with that side, sorry, right? And then we can look at this one here. This is parallel with this one. Now, if you guys are, some of you may be thinking, well, wait a minute. What about this side right here that I'm drawing on here? Technically aren't touching each other. But if you imagine those lines continuing, they will eventually touch one another. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. Let me draw on these. Okay, so I like this one here that they have. There's a couple different ways we can look at this. Look, right angle. Okay, so don't forget our angle stuff that we talked about last week. That is still a factor in this. Look, this angle is kind of opened up wide. That is an obtuse angle. This one angle is kind of closed up more. It's smaller, so that is an acute. It's a teeny tiny little acute angle. So these angles are not the same as each other. These two are the same, but these are different, right? This side here, DC, line segment DC, is parallel to AB. Let me change my color here. AD is not parallel. So there's only one pair, right? The red lines are parallel to each other. That's a pair of them right there. If you take a look at this trapezoid, look at that. The line's going up. That's perfect, right? It's not labeled, so I'm going to label this X, Y, Z, and then just because I can, I'm going to throw a Q in there. Okay. If you take a look at that, are any of those angles the same? I just want us to study these shapes. Okay, this angle is the same as this one. Do you know what type of angle those are? Acute. Okay, good. All right. And then this angle here is the same as this angle here, and those are obtuse. All right, but what I really, really want to look for, do you see any parallel lines? I'm using that kind of loosely here, lines in this shape. Is it XY? Is it ZQ? Or is it YQ or XZ? All right, so if I drew this one here, I want you to see that ZQ is parallel. These are parallel to each other. ZX and YQ are not parallel to each other, okay? Parallel to one another. That's one set of parallel lines. All right, moving on. So that's trapezoids. Trapezoid, trapezoid. All right, so we kind of talked about that already, why these are separated, you know, the trapezoids over here and non-trapezoids over here. Squares, all right? Not a whole lot to say about a square, not too much, you know, to show you different squares and all that, but here's the definition. So write that into your Google Doc. So it is a quadrilateral, like a trapezoid, four-sided figure. The opposite sides are parallel to each other. So you can see here, this blue line is parallel to this one, and this is parallel to that. It has four equal sides. Now in geometry, you're going to see little dashes on the side of shapes like that. So that means they're equivalent to each other. This side is equal to all those others, right? So four equal sides and four equal right angles. Okay, so that is a square. Parallel sides, quadrilateral, equal sides, and four right angles. Okay, going back here, if you take a look, uh, you know, you can have a trapezoid with right angles, but you cannot draw one without, you know, with four of them, because as soon as you do, you've drawn a square. Okay, so you don't have a trapezoid anymore, you have a square. All right, so drawing on this part here with our squares, and just kind of seeing it, you know, squares, you're going to see them from different angles like this, right? So there's this idea that this side here is parallel to that side, and then this side opposite parallel to this one. Okay, looking at it here, you can take a look that this is a right angle, this is a right angle, 90 degrees, right angle, 90 degrees, right angle, 90 degrees. And if I said, now think about this, I mean, we talked about this kind of thing before when we were talking about like area and perimeter a while ago. If I said, all right, well, this side here is 20 feet, right? Then automatically, knowing that this is a square, that all sides are equal, I'm going to do that little dash mark there and say, okay, well, that side's going to be 20. That side's going to be 20. Sorry, that two's crazy. This side's going to be 20, right? So then what's the total perimeter, where you would say 80 feet, right? So that's a square, right? Four equal sides, four right angles, two pairs of parallel lines, right? Looking back at this top example up here of the green and the pink, right? Green is parallel with that green, pink is parallel with that pink. Okay, nice job, nice job. Keep going, keep going. Here we go. All right, so that's our square. There's equal sides, there's our equal angles. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, now let's talk about a rectangle. I like this picture for the rectangle because it shows pretty much everything that we were talking about a little bit here. Opposite sides are parallel. So this side here is parallel down with this side. This side here is parallel with that side. And four equal right angles. Right angle, right angle, right angle, right angle. We can see rectangles, oops, sorry, meaning that this side is equivalent to that side is equivalent to that side. So that is our details for that. So let me come back to my drawing page right here. So I want to focus more of our attention on these parallel lines. So if I draw this one right here, this yellow line, it is parallel to this one right here. You guys see what I'm talking about? Parallel. These are parallel. These lines, if I were to extend that out, will never ever touch each other. And then if I were to say, all right, good deal. So if I look at this one here, this red line, this will be our McDonald's rectangle. This is parallel to that line. Okay, making that clear. So this shape has two pairs of parallel lines. It also will have these right angles, right angle, right angle, right angle, right angle. And looking at this, we know that this side is equivalent to this side over here. These little hash marks just say, look, this side matches with that. This one matches with that one there. All right. So then taking a look at this one, looking at this shape here, do you see any lines that are parallel to each other? Think about the L's in parallel again. They're never, ever going to touch each other. This line is parallel to this line. And then changing my colors here, this line is parallel to that. So if I gave these labels and I said A, B, C, D, the way we would say that is, we could say, look, AB, line segment AB is parallel, we use that little symbol there, to CD, like that. Okay? And then we could also say, all right, well, AC is parallel to BD, line segment. Line segment AB is parallel to CD, and AC is parallel to BD. Okay? So your work for today, look at activity 3. And that Google Sheet, that Google form with the definitions, this page right here, make sure you send that in so I know you're following along with the video. Again, it's pretty straightforward. You just kind of have to copy what's in the video there. So I hope you guys have a great day. Let us know if you need any help, and we will be there to help you out. Take it easy, guys.